Rajdeep, I just want to dip into the news break that we're just getting in right now. Prime Minister, it seems that Kremlin was a little surprised, pleasantly so, by the warmth of Prime Minister Modi, that he came in to receive President Putin. That is what is being reported right now, because you had the Prime Minister personally go receive President Putin, receive him with a warm hug, and it seems...
And we are also surprised over the MH number plate. I mean, I don't know why should a Maharashtra car be the main car for the two leaders to move in Delhi? So obviously some car is coming from Mumbai, or certainly with a Maharashtra number plate, which they are using to travel together.
Really what is seen in the Prime Minister's cavalcade usually, I don't know, this looks like a Fortuner, Toyota Fortuner, or a car which is a Toyota make. But Gaurav, take a moment to reflect on our world global exclusive. This is an interview where a CNN or BBC would give an arm for, and you had President Putin choose, India Today to give that interview, because once this interview airs today at 9 p.m., this is not just in context of Southeast Asia. This is a global interview which will make international headlines.
It already is making headlines, and you're absolutely right. But it's also because India Today has credibility. India Today puts facts first, and India Today does not peddle the agenda that some of the organizations that you mentioned may do for their respective governments and organizations. Here, every question was put to President Putin. Hard questions were put to President Putin, and he responded. No color and no taint was added, to whatever he said or whatever we asked. This was absolutely unscripted. Questions just kept flowing from one to the other to the third. It was scheduled for 60 minutes. It lasted well over 90 minutes. And that went on to show that both sides were very comfortable talking to each other because there was no agenda per se. Point one, preconceived agenda. Point two, when it comes to China, we must keep in mind India is no babe in the woods that we will let China, walk all over us. We've seen that in 2017 in Dolam. We've seen that in Galwan in 2020, and we've seen that subsequently. We also saw what happened at Tianjin SCO. There's furious backpedaling even by China, not on core issues, but at least on the face of it, because China also realizes India's standing up for Indian interests first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi did not go running to America the way several leaders across the world did the moment tariffs were imposed. India had our red lines. Those red lines were made very clear, and respect for India has gone up across the world, given the manner in which we've dealt with America so far, that we've not abandoned our all-weather friend Russia. Okay. That relationship is also growing, and we continue to engage with Europe. And our defense ties remain strong even with France. With America, well, the ball is in their court. Can they be trusted with military hardware and strategic weapons?
How you see the pieces on the chessboard moving diplomatically does seem to suggest it's the time of multipolarity. But I'm going to circle back, to our global exclusive that's going to air at 9 p.m. this evening. If you're seeing those visuals on your television screen of Prime Minister and President Putin riding side by side in that motorcade to Lok Kalyan Marg, they've had that moment before, way back at the SCO summit. And guess what? We at the India Today group did pose that question to President Putin. Was it pre-planned? Whose idea was it? Listen in.
Very interesting question, because when you met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in SCO, and there was this picture and video of you and him going in a car, and we're showing it to our viewers right now. You were traveling in a car with him. Was it pre-planned, or how did it go about? How did it happen? And what did you discuss in the car?
Вы знаете, обсуждали текущие вопросы.
We were talking about just the current agenda. It was not pre-planned. We just went outside into the street, and my car was there, and I suggested that we should get together, just, as a sign of friendship, of comradeship. There's nothing, no complicated orchestration, just as friends. We got together in one car, and we spoke. Along the road, there was always something to talk about. And, we had a conversation. We even sat in the car for quite some time. And then I said, yes, we should go because they're waiting for us. But there's nothing special about that. It just testifies to the fact that there's a lot we have to talk about. And these topics are of importance to us.
Right. President sir, the fact that you're going to go to India, you just said that both leaders are going to cement the guarantees that you give each other. What are the kind of announcements that we can expect? We've heard about technology transfer, we've heard about trade enhancement. What are the solid announcements during this visit? And I ask you this is because the world, and you know who I mean, would be watching.
Ну, то, что мир будет следить за
Well, the
нашими
world
действиями, здесь
is going to be watching. I don't think there's anything special about that.
страна,
Because,
полтора
you know,
миллиарда
India
человек,
is a
развивающаяся
great
экономика.
country, 1.5 billion
крупные
people.
экономики,
It's a developing economy
номер один.
where the rate of growth is
это сделал,
7.7%. This is the first result in the world. Prime Minister Modi has managed to
Единственный народ.
achieve that, and this says a lot the Indian nation can
Понятно,
take
что
pride
всегда
in.
есть критики,
There's all to be proud of. Of course, there are always detractors, critics who believe that this can be done better, but
у нас
that said, the result is evident. We've got a whole plan for cooperation which covers the most important spheres and fields. The most important ones are certainly oriented towards the future, and one of them is high technology. India and Russia are working together in outer space exploration, in energy, nuclear energy in particular, which is well known because, you know, one of the leaders in that field, also shipbuilding,
очень много
aircraft building.
направлений
We have very
как раз
many
сейчас
interesting
Например,
directions which are oriented towards the future.
даже искусственный интеллект.
Or let's take artificial intelligence. We'll probably talk about that later.
На таких ключевых
But this is one of the
которые
key
меняют мир на глазах.
technologies of the future, which is reshaping the world as we speak, because it manages to multiply things many-fold, but at the same time, it creates certain challenges to be addressed. And we'll talk about all of that.
И премьер Моди считает,
And as Prime Minister Modi thinks, and what I think, well, we'll choose what is of the greatest significance at this stage, and we'll help with that.
Agreement, sir?
ну, конечно, но сейчас
Well,
просто,
of course.
наверное, лучше не
But
анонсировать.
we should probably not
Президент
announce them right now because, you know, all of that is going to be announced in the course of the visit. We will present that to the public.
нам
And then
все подготовленные документы.
the colleagues will present all of these agreements to us and we'll have to give our final approval to these agreements.
All right, for more of that global world exclusive, you need to tune in to 9 p.m. on India Today. Like I said, viewers, this is an agenda-setting interview that's going to make international headlines.